One of the ideas behind setting up the sequestration about 2 years ago was to put in it big cuts in spending that both Republicans and Democrats would not like. It includes big cuts in domestic spending, which Democrats are supposed to not like, and it includes big cuts in defense spending, which Republicans are supposed to not like. Well, we have some current data which get to the latter of those issues, and that is defense and military spending. We have asked for a number of years now if it's important that the U.S. be the #1 country militarily in the world. Now, we find 62% of Americans overall say it is important. You see the trend there in front of you. It has changed some over the years, but a majority of Americans consistently say yes. But the key point here is to look at the difference by party. Look at that. 8 out of 10, essentially, Republicans say that it is important that the U.S. be #1 militarily, while we have less than half, just 48% of Democrats who say that's important, and the independents, as is usually the case, are in the middle. So that's a big swing there of about 32 points between Republicans and Democrats in this concern. And we would think, therefore, that it made sense to try to keep the Republicans from letting sequestration go forward to have those big defense cuts in there. However, despite these data, as we know, as I'm recording this at any rate, it looks like the sequestration may happen. In other words, the Republicans' fear of cuts in defense or fear of the U.S. not being #1 militarily isn't strong enough to keep sequestration from happening. One other bit of information, we did ask Americans, is the U.S. #1 militarily? And here we find at 50%, this is the lowest that we've ever recorded. It was at 51% once before, a decade or two ago, but now just half of Americans say the U.S. is #1 militarily, the #1 military power in the country, and that's down from where it has been. But on this issue, there really aren't any differences between Republicans and Democrats, as you see there in that chart in front of you. So the bottom line is Republicans are, it looks like, more concerned about the military than Democrats. What impact that'll have on sequestration or the big cuts in defense budgets coming, we're going to have to wait and see. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Gallup Editor-in-Chief.